Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Binding of Isaac Repentance, where today we're going to take Tainted Magdalene to the chest. Because I have about 30 to 60 minutes and we're gonna run for it. And I'm hoping that it's just gonna work out. It's a nice and quick character. We got Azazel's stump, which is occasionally going to, I think, more or less just give me Mega Blast or something like that, or turn me into Azazel. I forget what it does, but either way, I think it's what we unlocked the last run, wasn't it? But for now, we are going to do the standard strategy with Tainted Magdalene, which is just running into everything. And yeah, occasionally you will turn into Azazel with flight and everything, until I think you clear a room. I think I do still have my melee attack, which is nice. And yeah, now I'm back to normal. So, all in all, it's a pretty good deal. I do feel a lot safer that way, especially if we get it just before a boss. Since having flight for Gemini, for instance, is a nice deal. It certainly does make this fight a little bit easier, a little bit safer. And we have cleared the first floor within a minute. And we could go to try and unlock the Forgotten again, but perhaps that is not what I'm currently looking for in this particular run. Leaving the Soul Heart there for now, since might as well have that for the next floor. It's probably going to disappear fairly quickly, but that's okay. And I should probably try to destroy poops and things, but quite frankly, I don't know. Not really feeling it. I kind of like the idea of just running for it and seeing where I end up. I'm not particularly worried. Probably will be going for angel rooms as per usual. Since it is a nice and safe way to deal with your health not getting too low, so that's nice. That's the hourglass, which isn't necessarily terrible, actually. Having enemies sort of stay in one place can be kind of useful, so I don't hate it too much. And with that, let's just move on. I didn't really check much of anything. We never got a bomb, so I cannot look for secret rooms or anything like that. So let's just move on and be on our way. Nice thing about a regular old chest run is I can just do whatever I want. It is ultimately, technically one of the easier things to do. Curse of the Unknown is a little bit rough in that regard though. But let's do this every now and then. I'm not sure how much it's going to affect my life, but I think overall it will be a net positive. For the simple fact that it really stops some enemies from attacking for long enough to be worthwhile. I don't know how long the hourglass actually lasts, which might be a relevant question, I suppose, but we'll see about that as we move along, I suppose. Hopefully it's going to be long enough for me to stay alive. There is one key in my possession, so let's go for that. Continuum, that's fine. There is a tinted rock here. I guess I might as well go for it. I'd love to get a small rock or something like that, just for that little bit of extra damage. Though at the same time, movement speed is reasonably important as this character, I would say. But god, the melee attacks at the start of a run are so good. It is clearing out just about everything here, and it is making life just a little bit easier in that regard. But yeah, Curse of the Unknown. I'd love to get a black candle or something like that, because this is a little bit on the rough side. But we'll see what we can get. I'd like to get a health up or something like that from my boss rooms as well. But again, we'll see. If we can get flight from Azazel's stump, there we go. Very nice. We can now actually just go to some of the previous rooms that we hadn't fully acquired everything from if they were behind a rock or something like that, because we will retain this flight until we actually leave a room after clearing it. It's nice that we actually got the Azazel Stump activation just before the boss room here, because it means I can play it a little bit safe. As long as I have the blood underneath me, it means that I still have over 2 health. I'm in that health degeneration time, so that's kind of nice to know. I'm not really sure how bone hearts work out with this character, but I'm excited to find out. I have 1 bomb to try and find my secret room, which I'm not super stoked about, but technically not impossible, I suppose. I want to say it's probably over here, but not 100% sure. Yeah, that's a shame. Might actually be next to the curse room then, but I was feeling a little hesitant in that regard, just because that... I don't know, wasn't feeling it. But that's okay. we'll just move on. We'll just find a secret room on our next floor. I'd like to see what my health is like with that bone heart as well, because I'm guessing the bone heart's not gonna go away, but the red hearts inside it are probably... Yeah, that's already kind of fallen apart right there, so that's a bit unfortunate for sure. And it's gone. Yeah, this is where Tainted Magdalene does not shine, because quite frankly, it's taken me 2 hits to kill a gray fly, which I actually didn't know my damage was that bad, but I have just become aware of it. And unfortunately, the boss room item has been reduced to nothing, so it's not great. That's immediately an angel room. Guardian Angel. I think both are really good, but I do quite like this. I am going to be close to enemies pretty much all the time anyway, so it would be nice to have these beams available. We'll occasionally actually start using... I mean, look at this. Yeah, I don't hate this choice. I think this, especially early on, this is just going to be really powerful. It means they're not always going to be dropping hearts upon death, I think, because that is only guaranteed when you kill them with the contact damage thing. But overall, I'd say this is probably still pretty worthwhile. Let's go check out our shop. There is a flashlight in there. I don't need to raise my angel room percentages, fortunately, because it actually might be better to lower them as much as I can, just because we did get that teleport just now. So once we reach 2 health, it might be worthwhile to take like 1 hit of damage and then using the Yum Heart. Come on. I'm desperately trying to get hit a little bit. But it's okay either way. Doesn't matter too much at the end of the day, I suppose. Come on. There you go. There we are. 9% angel room chance. That's exactly what we wanted to see. Didn't really use Azazel there, but that's okay. Once again, 0 bombs. That's not much is happening on that front, unfortunately. Champions are still something I have to look out for. Now, getting Azazel to activate for this room, again, rather nice. Because it certainly makes it a lot easier. Kidney Stone? Oh, give it a shot. Why not? Don't know if it's a good idea, but we're going to find out together. It does give you that high tier rate for a little bit every now and then. You just need to be prepared for it. Also, once again, Azazel Stump activating there. Just lovely. Also, in terms of bosses that we could have gotten there, that's a pretty good one. Yeah, let's just keep going. It's working out. We should have reasonably high angel room chances for the next floor, I think. I assume the teleport. Yeah, the teleport makes sure you don't get that devil deal chance as well. So that was just positive. Soul of Eden's really good. Soul of Magdalene's really good. Soul of the Lost is really good. I'm just going to go with Soul of Eden and be on my way, I think. Because quite frankly, I could use the reroll. It does reroll into a random item pool, I do believe, so it can turn good items into basically nothing, which is a bit of a shame, but we can also use it to turn that key piece into something actually usable. So hopefully we can do that. We need to keep our 1 bomb. Currently that's not too big of a deal, but it's something we need to keep in mind. Also, every time I get hit and the kidney stone has been charging for a while, it just activates it because that's how it works. Which is arguably okay. It's not the worst thing, but it can be a little confusing at times. Why suddenly I'm starting to use the kidney stone. Ooh, I wonder what that is. I didn't know we had Curse of the Unknown. That's not great, actually. Because I don't particularly want to take a Soul of Eden item with Curse of the Unknown active, so might end up just not using it on this floor. Doesn't sound like too bad of an idea. The egg gave us a heart friend, which briefly confused me there, because I thought it was Isaac's heart suddenly appearing behind me. I was a little worried about the whole thing, but it worked out. Very nice. Quick secret room. It's chaos. Alright, never mind. I guess we're gonna take whatever we can find. That's the one downside of that right there. What do we do with this? I'm not 100% sure what a good idea is in this particular moment. I'm gonna use the hourglass just because it's gonna recharge anyway, and I wanted to keep that enemy in place there. Let's go check out if Greed is over here. We are in caves too, so Greed can appear. He is not. I'm assuming this is just random stuff. Yep, Fruity Plum. I did say that I didn't want randomly re-rolled items, but then I took a chaos item instead, so I'm not exactly keeping my word on that front, but I'm just gonna go ahead with it. I have not yet found my item room, but that's also just gonna contain something that may or may not be good. I'm hoping, obviously, that it is. And there is a tinted rock there, which might be worthwhile. Not sure if I want to bother with it, really. I'm just gonna leave it alone. The bighorn. That's not too bad. He is dying pretty quickly to these beams, after all. And he has a lot of hands that can all take damage. And he died fairly quickly there. Loki's horns. Fair enough. Just gonna blow you up. I don't know. I'm feeling positive about the odds that we're gonna get something good from re-rolling things here. Little horn, actually not bad. Bob's curse, also not that terrible. Should have not re-rolled the eternal heart, but that one's on me. I forgot that Soul of Eden also re-rolls those. Also, I probably, if it was on that floor, I probably should have actually gone back to the Soul of the Lost there, but oh well. That's okay. Because with Soul of the Lost, you can take one free Devil Deal item, and it would make sure that the other one would disappear, but it does mean that you get a little bit more options in terms of not losing your health, so that would have obviously been really nice. God. Hourglass actually working out really well there, because it made sure that those jumping enemies all stayed in a line, and it certainly made the room a lot more easy to deal with there. Because I've taken so much damage, the circle has gotten quite large. That's rock bottom. Just gonna take that, because with Kidney Stone, rock bottom is ridiculous, because Kidney Stone briefly makes your tear rate go all the way up, and now it's just going to stay at basically the max all the time, and that is wonderful. That is actually so good. So we're pretty good on that front at least, so that's nice. Key Beggar we could destroy. I kind of want to get a little bit more Angel Room or Devil Deal chance, but at the same time, I kind of like the pace we got going right now. Not super interested in what's in my shop either. But yeah, this is working. The Hourglass does last long enough to be useful, which is surprising. That's not what I'm used to from the Hourglass. I remember it just being kind of bad, really, so I'm happy to see how it's working out so far. Do not want the Rotten Heart. Should have done this from the get-go. And I'll take the Eternal B6 in the hope that it works out. With Chaos, I'm feeling fairly confident, but look at these charges. It's actually so quick now. It just insta-charges every time I'm in Azazel, so I'm just gonna have Permanent Brimstone there. Thanks to Rock Bottom appearing in my item room due to Chaos. That's just lovely. I don't have money. Alright. Briefly gave it a thought, and then immediately stopped thinking because there was nothing to think about there. Since we got the skull back from our boss room... Oh, we just have... It just goes now, I guess? Have we reached some sort of soy milk situation where it is actually just shooting continuously? Because it was... I didn't have to charge it anymore. Oh my god. I did not know that that was entirely tier rate based, but apparently it is. That's cool. That's good to know. That's actually sort of interesting. But also, for a run where I was in a bit of a hurry, this build does work out. Plus, it's the first time in a while that I've gotten, what's it called, Rock Bottom in a while. And also to have it combined with something that's actually really good, that's wonderful. Very nice. That's damage. You can always use extra damage at the end of the day. Just gonna slow everyone down here because this room can get a little bit messy with all these enemies. Pins as well. But none of them are really able to get close to me, which is nice. There's Greed. God. This tier 8 is just insta-killing everything right now. Definitely don't mind the Kidney Stone choice right there. Rock Bottom has certainly improved it by about 1 million, but still, I'm happy that the first choice I made ended up being the correct one, ultimately. Very nice. God, Loki's horn as well is just continuous sometimes. I guess if I just get it to start off shooting in 4 directions, it will just stay in 4 directions, which is really nice. Where was it going? Chests, right? Yeah. I should have probably looked for a full card first. Anything I particularly want here? I mean, meat is really good, but I think I'm just gonna move on. Yeah. If I had teleportation, I should have just left that room after taking one of those items, because that would have been really good. I wasn't really aware that was going that fast. I'm apparently at 13 minutes, which I was not fully aware of, but it kind of makes sense with how this run has been going, I suppose. The only downside with the kidney stone is that occasionally it needs to charge again, and you really notice the lack of speed suddenly when that does happen. But God, look at that. That's so cool. When it goes into 4 directions, it just stays in 4 directions because of the like soy milk effect, and the damage is just absurd because I think it's hitting a lot with this tier rate. It's just hitting a lot more than it usually is. My damage is never really going down. With all these tiers, occasionally the little horn tiers are just showing up all over the place. Like, there's just a lot of good stuff. My health is in a bit of a weird spot, but other than that, it's just absurdly powerful. Very nice. If I can get a Zazel again, I'd like to check out those cards, actually, but there we go. That was easy. Lovers and Upside Down Fool. I'm just going to go with Lovers and leave. Upside Down Fool does not really assist me in this situation, because I don't want to play any type of build that requires me to go slow enough for that to be worthwhile. I also kind of already forgot that I had the Eternal D6, but I might want to actually make some use of that every now and then. Depending on what we find, of course. I think we haven't really had anything to reroll so far because all the items we found were good, but still, it is still an option ultimately. And that's good to keep in mind. Health-wise, I'd love a little bit more. That's really the main reason why I wanted the meat as well, because it's just a bit of a scary situation with this character sometimes. Like, obviously we're playing extremely quickly, but it still would make me feel a little bit more comfortable if we had some more health for sure. There's a portal there. They're just gonna summon enemies for me. That's actually kind of nice. Bloats. Not too concerned. Devil Deal. This can be really strong. Fruitcake? I think I'm gonna leave it, just because I prefer the health right now. It's a weird choice. I do like me a fruitcake, but I don't really want to spend a heart container on it. If I had Soul of the Lost on me, I probably would have done. But, yeah, it is what it is. Unfortunately, fruitcake doesn't give you, like, stat ups. If it was $3 bill, I would have considered it more, because that does change your stats around, and with rock bottom, that's just really good. I am a little bit concerned about my stats, though, because I think you can get to a point where your tier rate is so high that you can't use Brimstone anymore. And that's obviously something I'd like to avoid. It's one of those extremely niche cases, but with a build that has Rock Bottom and Kidney Stone, you can get to those extremely niche cases ultimately. So it's a bit of a scary time to go too far with it. Also, I don't want to crash the game, and so far we're nowhere near crashing game territory, really, but it is in just kind of a weird spot right now where it can certainly reach it if we really went for it, you know? So we do have to be at least a little bit careful with that. Very nice. This will just end the fight, I think. I have a little bit of homing going on, it seems. No, it's just shooting a bit weirdly. That's odd. It seemed like it was going a little bit sideways, but I'm not really sure why. Either way, we're going up. God, this is exactly the kind of run I wanted, just specifically to get through it quickly, but you can't exactly ask for something like this. It's a little bit too much, perhaps, to get upon request. But I will take it. I will happily take what we have acquired this day. Haven't really had a use for my Yum Heart that much either, which is surprising, since it can obviously be really powerful. I'll probably use the Hourglass against Isaac, since I assume it's probably fairly effective. Conehead occasionally, stopping some damage there as well, which is lovely. We got a Brimstone friend right there, so that's nice. We're going mostly in the right direction so far, which has really been helpful as well. But I do need to keep close eye on my health all the time, because it is going down at 1 heart at a time now on these floors. Fortunately, a lot of the enemies are still dropping health as well, but it can very quickly go down once you start going through rooms at a scary pace. Like, stuff like that can happen as well. And that's just not great. Yeah, and then you can just be too far away from actually picking up the health as well. Which isn't great, but fair enough. Let's do that. Switch to the Yum Heart there. God, this turret is so dumb. It's shooting so quickly. I think the hourglass has run out, but it got me through the first 2 phases, and honestly, that's all I wanted from it, so it's all fair enough. But as you can see, my health is dropping at a scary rate right now. So we're just gonna keep our distance and move on. Only the chest remains. I do need to be careful with my health right now. That's really my main concern, but other than that, Curse of the Unknown, God, that's actually really terrible. That's pretty good, that's fine. I'm gonna risk this, even though I'm kind of against the idea. I'm gonna use this Lover's card immediately, because I'm just a little concerned about my health situation. Dark Bomb I don't think is going to add anything positive to this build in particular, so I'm just gonna leave that alone, and we're gonna go to the top left of the map, judging from where we are right now. Oh god, I'm taking a lot of damage. It's taking like so long. I'm at half a heart. Oh no. Yeah, it's taken so long to charge that kidney stone that it's actually almost unusable at times, which is surprising given the circumstances. But unfortunately, it can be really damaging when that happens. There we go though. We got to the point where we can use the Yum Heart again, and now we're kind of okay on health again, so that's nice. Plus we got Envy here, who usually is kind enough to just give a lot of presents, health related. So we can hopefully at least, yeah, I think we're back on full health now, so crisis averted, that's good, that's very nice. God, this beam is just absurd. Look at the size of this thing. I'm not sure why it's so big actually, but it even makes a cool sound and everything. It's great. I love it. Just making sure our health is good on these easier rooms. One big room coming up. Just going to use that hourglass immediately against this boss. Hopefully we can take care of the other one here as well. And then we just have an easy one to deal with. Very nice. And then finally, the map was actually a really helpful find at the end there, because it made it a lot more easier to find out where to go. Also, we're Azazel, so we're just gonna beam through this as quickly as we can, and before you know it, that was a run. What an absolutely absurd run that was, but I will happily take that. That might be the quickest thing I've ever done in this game. That was lovely. Holy Crown has appeared in the basement. I don't know what that is, but it's probably something with shops and cathedral or something like that. I don't know. It doesn't matter. We have completed the chest with Magdalene at a pace that I would call ridiculous, and I had a good time. That leaves only the beast with this character left to go, and I'm sure we can get to that at some point. But we have pretty much run out on all the easy things left to do in this game. There's still a couple of beasts remaining, I admit, which shouldn't be too difficult. But that's pretty much it. So hopefully we can still retain this whole 5 videos a week thing, but quite frankly I wouldn't be surprised if occasionally it's going to take a little bit longer. Either way, hope y'all enjoyed it. Next time we play, we'll be doing a different run with a different character, and I hope to see y'all there. Bye bye.